In this video, I wanted to go over some basics for maneuvering around your charts in NinjaTrader. I think it's important to be able to, be comfortable with the chart. Like anything, when you're learning a new program like NinjaTrader, if you're not used to it, there is a learning curve. But it's a relatively simple program, and once you get the hang of it, I think you'll find it pretty simple. But hopefully, this is a bit of a jump start for that process. Obviously, a couple of things. If you have any questions at all, just let us know. One, Dave and I are pretty expert at NinjaTrader, and we can probably help you. And secondly, there's a lot of information on the NinjaTrader website. They even have courses and classes and videos and so forth if you have additional questions, and they're pretty helpful as well. So with that said, let's first talk about maneuvering around the chart a little bit. Well, before I do that, I noticed that I have the crosshair on here, and I personally like the crosshair. You can kind of take it to different price points, and it's certainly useful if you use the chart trader feature, which we'll talk about later. But if you don't like the crosshairs, you can certainly change that. You can go to this icon up here and change that to pointer, which just has, you can see the pointer, there's no crosshair. Or there's also the feature called global crosshair, and that would be, you would enact that if you wanted to look at several different charts and have the crosshair line up in the same place on all those charts. So if you, let's say for example you had a 1 minute chart and a 30-minute chart and a 15-minute chart of the same market, and you wanted them all to line up, you would put them all on global crosshair. So that way when you lined up current day at 10:30 in the morning, it's going to show you the crosshair on those other charts at 10:30 in the morning. Okay, so kind of up to you in terms of what you want to do there with the crosshair. Now, in terms of maneuvering around the chart, there are a few options. To scroll back in time, there's obviously this scroll bar at the bottom of the screen, so you can just drag that back and forth pretty simply. Now, they don't have a scroll bar on the vertical axis, and I believe the reason is just to save space. So the way that you would move up and down if you wanted to do so would be to, first of all, hold down the control button on your keyboard, and as you're holding down the control button, left click in the price window and then drag it up and down. Okay, so rather than having a scroll bar, you have to do a little bit of extra. So again, the steps are hold down the control button on your keyboard, step one. Step two is take your cursor over to the price zone here on the right side of the chart, left click and hold, and then drag up and down, and that's going to drag your chart up and down. Okay, now just a note while we're at it here, if you see this little F in the top right of the screen, in the square, capital F in a square, if ever you get unformatted or want to just get back to the default, you can always just click that and it's going to bring you back to standard. So again, if you're up here, you click the F, it's going to bring you back to the standard formatting. Okay, so if you ever get mixed up, you can do that. Same thing with this. You can see if you're back in time and you see this black arrow pointing to the right, you can always just click on that. It's going to bring you back to real time. Okay, and if you get moved the other way, you can see there's a white arrow up here. You can click that and it's going to bring you back to real time. Okay, so we've gone over scrolling left and right. We've gone over scrolling up and down. Now let's go over compressing vertically the chart. So if you want, for example, the chart to be a little bit more decompressed vertically, what you can do is take your cursor over to the right hand price menu again, and this time without holding down the control button, simply drag it up and down. Okay, and that's going to stretch out the chart vertically. So again, what I'm doing is if I hold down control button and move up, that's going to move the whole chart. If I don't hold the control button and then scroll down or scroll up, that's going to change the vertical spacing of the bars. Okay, so again, if you ever do that and want to get back to standard formatting, you can just click the F in the top right of the chart and you're back. Okay, now let's talk about spacing the chart and zooming in. There's a couple ways you can zoom in. The way that you can use this zoom feature, or that's the data box, you can use the zoom feature right here, and you can just draw a box and zoom in. That's one way to do it, and then you can unzoom it with this magnifying glass with the red subtraction sign. You can do that. That's one way. The way that I actually like to do it is with my keyboard. And so to do so, you have to have the cursor on the chart that you want to move. Then you hold down the control button, and then you can push, while you're holding the control button, you can push the up and down arrow. So I'm pushing the down button a few times while holding the control button, and that's going to space it vertically. And then if I want to zoom out, I can hold the control button and push the up arrow on my keyboard at the same time, and that's going to space it further back. Okay, so again, holding the control button, pushing down, zooms in. Holding the control button, pushing the up arrow, zooms out. Okay, now the same thing with bar width. You can basically the same process. Instead of holding the control button on your keyboard, however, you want to hold the alt button on your keyboard, and then if you push the down arrow a few times while holding the alt button, it's going to make the bars thicker. And if you push the up arrow on your keyboard while holding the alt button on your keyboard at the same time, it's going to make the arrows thicker. Okay, so I mean that can come into play when if you're really zooming in, you might want to make the bars a little thicker. If you're really zoomed out, you might want to make them even thicker or thinner. It's just up to you as to how you want the chart to look and get comfortable. But it's pretty easy to maneuver around. But again, just remember to, for spacing on the bars, hold down the control button and use the up and down arrow at the same time, or hold down the alt button and use the up and down arrow at the same time. Okay, so that's some basics in terms of maneuvering around the chart, in terms of moving it left and right, holding the control button and moving it up and down, not holding the control button and changing the spacing, control button and using the up and down arrows, alt button and using the up and down arrows. Okay, so that's how to maneuver around the chart a bit. And again, you can always hit this little F if you want to reformat, go back to the default formatting. Real quickly now, let's go over a few other features here. We'll just go through these icons. When you're switching, you can switch between markets and time frames with this drop down. Again, if you do that, make sure you use the proper templates for that market and time frame. And you can do that by right clicking on the chart and going to templates and loading the template. We'll go over that when we're setting up charts. But just a key point, when you're switching between markets and time frames, you need to change the template as well. This icon here is the bar style. The default that we set ours on are open, high, low, close. And some people like candlesticks. You can certainly do that. If you do use candlesticks, what I would recommend doing then is right-clicking your chart and going to Data Series and changing these to black. You can type them or you can use the drop-down and black, because again, the paint bars on the aggression bars are going to be various colors, and if they're red and green, it's going to throw that off a bit. So if you like candlesticks, you can certainly do that. It's really up to you. This pencil is the drawing tools, and there's a few options you can do. For example, you might want to use the text feature. You could also hit the F12 button on your keyboard, but just use this text here, and you at the start of the day you could say bigger picture bias equals down. Excuse me. You can change the font size. You can make that bigger if you like, and click OK. So you can write that text there and you can drag it wherever you want. Other things that you might find useful are like horizontal lines, so you can use that and then draw, put a horizontal line. If a bigger picture support resistance area, you can double click any of these and change the settings, so you can change it to any color you want, change the setting, the thickness, that sort of thing. A lot of options in terms of drawing, and arrows and various rectangles, whatever you're looking to do, you can experiment with. Let's see. That's the main thing in terms of getting around the chart. Just the scrolling and so forth. If you can handle that, you're pretty well set. In the next video, we're going to talk about working with workspaces and saving charts and saving the settings the way that you want them. So that should work. Oh, one other thing. I don't have any indicators on the chart right now, but if you wanted to do indicators, you can just click on this icon right up here, or you can right-click the chart and go to indicators, and here's all the indicators. If you wanted to add, volume to your chart, you just click it and click new, and here's the settings and click OK. With our software you have all the settings here. So like we were showing you, it's best to use the templates to begin with, but that's how you would alter the indicators. The other thing that you sometimes would use is the data series, and you can get that by clicking either this icon here or again right-clicking your chart and going to data series, and that's again where you change the different markets, time frames, session times, etc. So that's those are the basics in terms of getting around your charts. Hopefully that should make sense. And again, if you have any questions, just let us know, and we'll be happy to help. Okay, thanks so much. Bye.